Hi, I'm Tony, this is Slack, welcome to Smog Vlog. Today we're going to be reviewing the Eleaf iStick TC200W. Ba-bang! Ba-ba-ba-ba-bang! Alright guys, welcome back. Yeah, so like we said, the iStick 200W TC, here it is in all its 3 battery glory. Yeah, it's another 3 battery mod to rival the RX 200 and those sort of things. Let's dive down for an unboxing and find out what it's all about uppy close. So here you join us for the unboxing ceremony of the Eleaf iStick TC200W, which I'm sure one of us has already just told you. We'll give you a quick tour around the box. Apologies, I'm feeling like shit, so this is really going to be a quick unboxing. Standard what it is, available in black, white and grey. On the back gives you the usual sales spiel about what it can do for you. We've already bought it, so we don't need the spiel. Inside the box, the TC200W, obviously without the batteries, USB cable and manual, and Slack's favourite scratch and sniff here. Right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get this puppy unboxed. Gotcha. We'll keep him handy. Right, now we got that out of the way, and inside we find our favourite wordy thing. Very wordy. Oh my god. Oh, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. It's in different languages. Yeah, they're throwing a few languages out there for us now. Warning card. Please don't use batteries with torn casings, as it is a safety hazard. Standard USB cable. Very boring. And now to the good stuff. Yep, nothing else in the box, so get rid of that. Right, there she is. Shiny, shiny. So, as we can see, the usual plain Jane grey colour. Just trying to work out whether that is the same sort of grey that we had on previous models, or whether this is a... It feels more metally than what I felt before. That was the worrying bit that I had. Like, you'd hold it, and knowing that the fire button's in the middle, I wasn't sure that would feel right. So far, you know, this first 30 seconds feels okay. Having it round the other way, okay, that's going to be interesting. I suppose they've made this ergonomic to fit into your palm like that, and then fire with your thumb. Right, let's find out if that 510 sprung loaded. Yep, nice and stiff. Good. Right, looking in the bottom. Ah, nice. You can see in the bottom there they've put plus, plus and minus, giving you directionality. Okay, so while we're looking at that, we might as well chuck some Samsung 30Qs in there. That way, that way. Quick little lesson here. If you're going to be running more than one battery, always a good idea to label them up. That way you won't use them all in the same slot. So you remember to cycle them round, so it keeps the energy discharge from the battery equal with the others, so that they all discharge at the same rate. Okay, so we've got a mod button just here, just below our plus and minus buttons. Pushing that will actually cycle you from between wattage to nickel, titanium, stainless steel, and then your memory functions, which is cool. I'm not going to go through all the button pushes, we'll save that for a later date because I am about ready to pass out. I'm also not going to load anything on top of there because I am not vaping at the minute because my throat is fucking killing me. So, with that in mind, probably back to the studio, and don't forget your bananas. Right, thanks for that unboxing, Tony. That was a great attempt there at unboxing, but we made it through it. That's the important thing, we've made it through. Right, anyway, let's talk about the power range, tech spec and features. So, as we've already said, it takes 3 18650 batteries. On the website it states that the continuous discharge should be above 25 amp.
Yeah, so it's got several modes. It's got your normal power mode, it's got temp control in nickel, titanium and stainless steel, and it's got 3 TCR adjustable memory modes.
The output wattage runs from 1 to 200 watt.
The resistance it will run is 0.05 up to 1.5 in temp control.
And 0.1 to 3.5 in variable wattage mode.
So the temp range is from 100 to 315 degrees C.
Which is 200 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit for our American cousins out there.
And it's got all the standard protection features you'd expect from a regulated mod. It's got overcharge protection, overcurrent, over discharge protection, reverse polarity protection, and obviously low ohms, high ohms, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so that's the tech specs rattled off for you. Next up, button quality.
Yeah, so button quality on this, I mean, they're perfectly good, they're perfectly usable, it's got an alright sort of click to it, you know, it's a little bit of a clunk, it's not amazing, it's not going to win any awards, but you know when you pressed it, it's pretty reliable. However, flip side to that is it comes off a bit plasticky.
And on the upside of that, at least it doesn't rattle.
Right, let's talk about the menu operation now.
Okay, so for this, the iStick 200 watt, there is no dedicated menu button, it is just literally a combination of, you know, just this one, that one, this one, that one, and hopefully you'll arrive at where you want to get to.
Yeah, it does have a mode button that's going to allow you to cycle through the different modes, select between power, temp control and your TCR adjustment modes. So that's pretty cool, though it's a little bit slow and cumbersome to use. I personally prefer a dedicated menu where you just know the button clicks and you fly through it at the speed you want to.
Okay, next up for you guys is the firmware update. Now, we're not actually going to run you through a firmware update here because it is an Eleaf product and Slap's having a hit because he's just that cool. No, we're not going to run you through a firmware update because blowing it in my face. He likes blowing it in my face. We're not going to run you through a firmware, fucking third time lucky. Let's get there. We're not going to run you through a firmware update because it's an Eleaf product and it's the same as every other Eleaf product out there. So we're going to put up a card up here that will show you the Eleaf 100 watt temperature control where I showed you the firmware update process. It is exactly the same for this.
Yeah, you're just going to need to head to the website, go to the product page, and down there listed next to the product will be the firmware update as and when it's available. Simple as that, you know, it's really easy. Like the 510 connector on this, it's got a stainless steel thread and it fits really nicely, you know, nice and easy to use. It's got a sprung-loaded brassy goldy centre pin and yeah, it's pretty straightforward to use. You do find there's just a small gap between the actual atomizer and the mod itself. Very, very minute, it's not a problem. It just screws down onto the top there, there's no cup to hold it, you know, which is good because that way you can fit any size, you know, whether it's 22 or 24 or 50 or whatever you want, you know, it will just sit on there.
Next up, special report from temperature control.
Temp control here. No, seriously, it does all three of the big three, you know, it does your stainless steel, your titanium and your nickel, and it does them pretty good. I find stainless steel a little bit underperforming for how I like it. However, you've got that adjustable TCR, so you know, you can get in there and have it exactly how you want it if you're using custom wires or something weird and wonderful, you know, get in and set it yourself, which is really good. The only thing I would say that I don't like about this as well is, say you set a temperature and a power to use in nickel, if you then change and go to say stainless steel, it's going to have those same settings. So if you're 50 watts and 210 degrees in nickel and you flip over to stainless steel, it's going to be exactly the same, 50 watts and 210 degrees. I personally prefer things that sort of have profiles based around that, oh, you like your stainless like this but you like your nickel like that. It's fairly common that things don't have that, but it just would be better if they did, and it's something that they can do, so yeah, worth mentioning.
And here we are with the comparison video between the iStick 200 watt TC and the RX 200, the old RX 200. They both feel interesting in they're both different ways. Obviously the RX being a favourite from everyone around the world, and they're doing quite well. iStick have brought this out as their competition to the RX 200. It's a bit too early to tell whether it's going to be as successful as the RX 200, but we'll see. In terms of screen comparison, there we go, not really a lot in it. Although the two screens on both these devices are of very, very fucking similar display resolution, everything. The RX200 has been superseded by the RX200S, which has the larger vertical screens. So if screen's quality, size or orientation is something that is important to you, that's something to consider. I know some people out there might want to see it with the old 25mm VCMT loaded. There she is. Actually, it looks alright. Doesn't look bad at all. So yeah guys, there you have it, the comparison video between the RX200 and the iStick TC200W. Probably back to the studio.
Nextly on the docket, we've got size, portability and weight. I'm showing them the size and the portability and the weight.
Look at it go.
Yeah, there we go.
Like smell-o-vision. I hope not.
Not again.
Okay, so it's a big ass bastard. We knew that going in from the outset. It feels bigger than the RX200, and that's because it is bigger than the RX200 due to the battery arrangement that Eleaf have chosen for this. The RX actually compacts them quite nicely in the arse end, and then you've got the gubbins in the front of the device, which makes it sit wider, but actually they remain the same height.
And sort of depth, you know, long ways.
All up with the science.
Yeah.
Look at the science.
Science in this mofo. So in terms of portability for the mod, it's pretty comfy to hold. The button's in a bit of a weird place, but you know, it kind of works, and you kind of hook your little finger under it, and it just feels good to sort of carry about, you know, that's fine. But you know, if you're the sort of person who does a bit of PlayStation wheel while you're vaping, this is not ideal for it, just because of that width on it. You know, it's again with the RX200 was sort of just quite bulky. The width on this makes it even bulkier to try and get hold of anything when you're holding it. So yeah, portability is good, but not for everything. So weight-wise, this thing is ridiculously light, you know, 145 grams on its own, or 285 grams with the 3 batteries in it, which, you know, sounds fairly heavy, but when you compare it to something like the Lysamo L1 with only 2 batteries in it, that's 330 grams. This is 45 grams lighter than a 2-battery mod, you know, it comes down to that sort of plasticiness of it, you know, there's a lot of weight saving that's gone into that design. Now, its biggest competitor is going to be the RX200, where the RX200 is a bit more metally around the edges. You know, that weighs in at 320 grams with the 3 batteries in. So, you know, it's still 35 grams lighter than that.
And of the two, I know which one I'd prefer to drop on the ground. Moving now on to battery life for the iStick 200W TC, or TC200W. As with the RX200, it's very similar in terms of how much battery life you're going to see from it. We did testing on it. We didn't feel that we were getting sort of like an extra battery, a whole battery worth out of it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. There is definitely a battery life improvement by having the 3rd battery, but, you know, I don't think it's the full 50% extra on top, especially when you compare it with things like the Cuboid, which seems to be a little bit more efficient with the power. However, the real benefit, I think, comes from the this 3 battery design. If you're only delivering 200 watts, you know, you're just breaking it down into stupid logic. That's 100 watts per battery in a 2-cell thing. Whereas if you take a 3 battery unit, you know, you've got 200 watts to deliver across 3 batteries. That's just 66 watts per battery. Now, I know it doesn't work like that. It works on amps, and you know, this is just keeping it really, really simple. The point is, your batteries need to perform less, so you don't need such high power batteries to reach that maximum wattage and, you know, that draw that's going to be there. The advantages of that is with batteries with lower amp limits are actually going to have a higher milliamp hour battery life, so you will be able to get a much longer battery life out of this unit.
Next up, and very quickly, is going to be the battery cover quality and security. Now, I've written in the docket it's good, but this guy has feelings. No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. My feelings
thought it was
were
all right.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you've got feelings.
I wasn't really one way or the other with it.
Oh, okay.
No.
I quite like it. So for me, what I like in a battery door is that it's easy to operate, it doesn't rattle, and this one has hinges, so you don't have to like pull the battery door off and lose it or put it down, or just plunk, done, easy, batteries in. The battery slots are clearly labelled so you know which way you're putting your batteries in, and it's simple, and that's all you need from a battery door.
Yeah. Smoke, take notice. Next up for you guys is style. Now, the Eleaf website says that we got the metallic grey finish one. I don't think that's metallic grey at all in the first place. I think that looks horrible. I don't like this colour at all. No, stop. Bad. I told you I wanted to talk first, then you. Now, Eleaf, a year ago or so, brought out the iStick 100 watt, just the iStick 100 watt, and that was a proper silver colour. I liked that. That was good because it was brushed, my sort of stuff. They soon after that brought out this grey shite and called it metallic. We had a little conversation earlier, and yeah, it's sort of like a matte sort of colour. I don't really go in for that. It doesn't do it for me. And the whole unit as a whole, I think I've just sort of like fell out of love with it. I liked looking at it on the screen, but actually getting it in person, it operates fine in my hand. Everything else.
Can I talk?
You're up.
Yeah. So it says it's grey, but it's basically a sort of dark matte silver, which I think looks kind of cool. They've sort of pulled it back, I think, from a plasticky, tacky looking thing with this coating. I think it gives it that sort of gunmetal finish. I think it looks alright. The buttons I'm not so keen on. They just look plastic, with like this cheap tinfoil coating on. They're not. Don't get me wrong, they're not that cheap, but it's kind of what it looks like. So style wise, I think the sort of front panel and these front buttons let it down. I personally quite like the sort of gunmetally silvery finish we've ended up with here. It is an interesting style choice to have the screen and the button in particular right in the middle of the wide bit. Personally, if I was designing this, maybe on one of these ends, because while it fits in my giant hand to get the button like that, and then you can see the screen, it works okay. I have giant hands. Someone with smaller hands, I think, would be like struggling their way around this to sort of get to use it. Yeah, like that. Are you struggling to use it then?
Yeah, but I always fire it with the thumb. Or I put it around that way and then...
That annoys me, having the screen in the palm of your hand. If you've designed a mod and the comfiest way to do it is with the screen into the palm of your hand, you've done something wrong with your job of designing a mod. However, for me, I quite like the style of it. I think it's alright. It is a bit plasticky, but it's lightweight, and that comes with the territory. Enough said.
As for the warranty for the device, according to the documentation, it's a standard legal warranty. Our usual saying, you break it, you bought it.
Yeah, so it's going to be your standard statutory warranty for the country you bought it from, or the retailer that you bought it from.
Okay guys, we've reached that special stage in the show where we sum up by way of pros and cons. As always, we'll start with the cons so that we're ending on those beautiful pros.
Yeah, so first up on the cons list is going to be the mode cycle button. Now, it's really good that there's a mode cycle button. I prefer a dedicated menu, but mode cycle, that's pretty decent, having that extra button rather than having to do it all on faffy button combinations. However, the mode cycle button is painfully slow. If you need to go from the first mode to the last mode, you're there for ages, whereas a dedicated menu could be done in like 2 seconds.
As I said in the styling sort of section of this review, I'm just not a fan of it anymore. It sort of had its time with me. Something about actually having it in the hand, or having that and the RX200, double teaming them. The RX200, I don't know whether it's just because I've had more time with it and it fits in my hand better. I didn't think it was anything to do with the operation of the button, because that's what 9 people out there would be saying out of the 10, that is because you're not feeling comfortable about hitting the fire button. But I do manage to find the fire button. I don't know. Is it a Marmite design?
Yeah, personally, I really quite like it. It fits well in my hand. I think it looks good. The styling they've gone for, I think, looks quite smart and works. But in terms of that, aside from the size, which you really need to hold it in your hand, you can tell what you're getting by looking at it. You see us unbox it, and that's what you get. Next up on the cons list, we had a battery stuck moment. So we've both got batteries from Torchy on eBay. He double wraps the batteries for safety first, guys. As a result, they're a little bit thicker than normal batteries, and they fit in okay. And once they're in, they didn't really want to come out, and you get into the realms of awkward to remove. So okay, it's not entirely the unit's fault, but if that happens, if your battery wraps a little bit imperfect, if your battery is a little bit sort of sticky, then you are going to get into the realms of it being awkward to remove. Unlike the RX200 again, where you've got full exposure to the batteries and you can just pluck them right out.
Okay guys, so that's enough ragging on it. Let's move over to those pros.
Yeah, the first one is the Gabby, the fact that it's really lightweight. For a 3 battery unit, it is the lightest out there, and yeah, I'm impressed with its weight. Trade-off obviously is it's a bit plasticky, but that's okay because it doesn't feel like you're carrying a brick around with you.
So next up on the pros list for this is going to be the fact that it's firmware updatable. Eleaf are very good at supporting their devices, and they will roll out the updates as and when they have them available. And they're nice and easy to do as well.
Just like you. Next up on the pros is going to be the fact that it's got adjustable TCR. Again, with Eleaf, it's great that they've introduced this adjustable TCR and the firmware updates. It just shows a more dynamic product, and so no matter what wire comes out in the future, you'll be able to tweak it. If you're using those custom wires, you'll just be able to set something up. So yeah, it's good. And also, I think they've done a really good implementation of the 3 temp control wires out of the box.
And lastly, for the pros list, is got to be the price point that they're marketing this at. It is very comparable with the RX200.
So there we have it, the iStick TC200W. It's a great 3 battery unit. You can do your temp control on it on all 3 wires. You've got adjustable TCR, and it's really lightweight for a 3 battery unit. It's really nice to see another alternative to the ever popular RX200.
Okay guys, so that about wraps it up for this review of the Eleaf iStick TC200W. We hope you enjoy what we're doing, and if you do, please don't hesitate to drop the whole like and do the whole subscribe thing, because it helps us out immensely. Also, if you would be so kind, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, because we are quite
chatty. Yeah, and also give us a share, get the word out there. The bigger we get, the quicker we get to 666, the quicker we'll be doing another giveaway. And as always, if you've got any questions about this bad boy or anything else we're doing, hit us up in the comment section here or over on the social media. We're quite active on New World Vaping UK on Facebook, so yeah, you can often meet us there. But for now, guys, thanks for watching Smog Vlog. Right, well, we're recording.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
There we are. We're
hi
right
guys.
here.
Hi.
Sorry,
see you there.
we really didn't see you there.
Yeah.
What kind of wankers are
I
we?
must put the lights on the back of that bastard.
What to
Let us know it's filming. Yeah.
We're useless. We wouldn't fucking notice anyway. They need like an internet buzzer that they can just. We're here.
Ding dong.
God damn it! I'm like camo for the sofa.
Yeah, my face looks really red.
No.
Yeah, no, not in real life. Only on there. It's the white balance.
If it makes you feel any better, I cannot see it.
Oh, good. We look great. Let's just go with that.
Ba-bang! Ba-ba-ba-ba-bang!
No idea.
Really nice.
I don't know where the fuck that comes from.
In the fraction of a second just before it just that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know why I did it the first time. Like the so you unbox this one, I assume.
Let's go with that.
Cool. Back in the room. Get out of that.
And here we are with the quick comparison video between the Joytech
Okay,
That
right.
is the problem, especially with you reading your own doc saying, "No, I disagree with that."
Yeah, well, that was the way it was written.
I know.
Right, anyway, look, we've got to bring it back from the... We're not there yet.
Next up, special report from temperature control.
Yeah, hi, temperature control here. No,
Sorry.
okay.
Oh, I was thinking like a helicopter. We've got a twister coming in.
Yeah, I'll take weight, I guess.
Yeah, you like it weighty.
Not when you're on top, I don't. Ribs still haven't recovered.
You like a challenge, that's what I'm telling you.
So weight-wise, this thing is ridiculously light, you know. 145 grams on its own, or dog hair in the mouth.
Ah, dog hair in the mouth. That's quite a weighty...
There it is. What is it divided by 3? And we'll have to get the calculators. That's 75.
Well, it's 33 times 2, isn't it?
What? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. What's 200 divided by 3?
Well, if it's 100 divided by 3, it's 33.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
66.
66. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, it's perfect.
He kind of says that I'm right, but still makes me manage to feel stupid at the same time. It's a special kind of science he has for me. You're right, but you're still a fucking idiot. Whoosh! Thank you. Please may I have another?
If you're not careful.
I'll be slapped round the head with something else. Right, ready? I'll do my little bit first and...
Yeah.
You can... come in afterwards.
Alright.
That okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Sloppy seconds.
Well, you do like arriving last.
Can't help it. It's slow. If you need to go from the first mode to the last mode, you're there for ages. Whereas a dedicated menu could be done in like 2 seconds. And do the menu.
And do the menu.
Sex joke.
Gotcha. Not really. I'm quite thick.
We've established that.
Many times.
Yeah, something like that. I'll try it. Take one.
Word it out.
Yeah. So there we have it. The Eleaf iStick 100 watt, 200 watt TC. iStick TC 200 watt. So there we have it. The iStick 200 watt TC 200 watt.